Okay, so this is my regular warrior setup. Obviously, you're gonna swap gear and stuff as you need based on the fights. I'll just kind of give you a look at my UI. So I kind of run the basic Warcraft UI. I actually really like it. I've been using it for like 20 years, and then I have it shrunk down and just a couple things. Look at my damage meter here on the left with my threat meter beside it. This little weak aura here, actually angry, set this up, which I thought was really cool. And the number mostly that I pay attention to here is crit cap. So it's 80% for a level 53. If he was level 63, this crit cap would actually drop. It drops to about 40%. And then based on my character stats, and I'm also running another add-on, and I think it's just called like classic character stats. Yeah, classic character stats. This blue one. It'll do these cool things. Like it'll count my hit chance for me on all my gear. So I'll run 11% hit, and then here's my critical strike. So it's 30%. So obviously I don't have consumes or world buffs or anything. If I fully consume, so sharpening stones on each sword, that's 4%. A mongoose is another 2%, so that's 6%. Um, it's actually quite easy to get to 40%, and then once I'm crit capped, then you have to start looking at things like increasing your hit. So I did this kind of short calculation the other day. So 11% is kind of 40, and then it just goes up from there. So um, 41% crit cap would be 12% hit, 42% crit cap, 13% hit. So I can get as high as 47% crit with probably like 18% hit cap. So, and then what you see here as well, like your critical strike chance, there's always a suppression. There's an invisible suppression of 4%, and that's just in the game. So you lose 3% from basically 1% for each level the mob is above you. So on bosses, and then there's another percent there. I can't exactly remember what it's from off the top of my head, but so um, even if I did have 47% crit, my crit cap, I'm probably fine with it around 44, 45 because I'm gonna lose that. I'm gonna lose that 4% anyways. So I have some cool weak auras that I like set up. You've probably seen my charge weak aura, which I actually don't even pay attention to anymore, but that one's kind of silly. Um, the other day when I was working on rotation and things like that, trying to see um, heroic strike queuing and how best that's going to work. This bag add-on is called. I was using Bagnon, but then it stopped working, so now it's Baginator or something. But it's the same thing. But so one of the best main hands is the Grand Marshal, the rank 14 stuff, because of its swing speed is 2.9 seconds, and then Iblis being in the offhand with a 1.6 seconds. So that actually gives you over a second of. It's almost like it's so close, like it's almost 3 seconds and a second and a half that it's like you could get two swings with an Iblis before you swing once with your longsword. So I had a macro, and I have a shitload of macros, but I had a macro that was cast heroic strike, start attack, and then stop casting. And so the what this basically does is this allows you to swing. So I'll show you here. I'll attack this guy. So this is my swing timer that I have with my main hand. Okay, so it's 2.9 seconds. So I can let it swing, cue a heroic strike, press that button again, and it will cancel. So you can see here it's queued and then canceled. And then you want to do that right before the swing actually goes off. And so like I can cue it you can queue it out of combat, and this is what I was talking about the other day with tanking. One of the things you want to do, pre-queuing that heroic strike if you have rage. So you queue it, you can cancel it, you can queue it, and then when you walk up, the first thing you do is you hit that yellow, that 441. That's a heroic strike. So, and then the way that the queuing works is, you queue it, you cancel, you queue, you cancel, and then all these little offhand hits. So my Iblis is almost swinging twice in that time. It doesn't technically it doesn't miss. It's got it does have a 1% chance to miss, but it doesn't really miss that much. And then you're like generating a rage with it. Now, Dakan has so much gear and crit and hit that I found personally it didn't matter. So there's that fight 2 weeks ago that Angry and I had with Resuvius, where I was pretty much all I was doing. I had my Thunder Fury in my offhand, and then I was using a longsword, and I was pretty much just heroic strike queuing, so that my Thunder Fury never missed. And what I would actually, excuse me, the rotation is you want to prio your Bloodthirst and then your Whirlwind and then your Heroic Strike, and I was doing the opposite. So I was prioing my Heroic Strike, filling with a Bloodthirst and then a Whirlwind. So I pretty much never missed on that fight. Yes, you're going to here and there, and then during execute phase, things like that, you're not queuing your Heroic Strikes, so you're missing. But normally my miss chance, I think, was like 20%, and I got it down to 10%, so that's pretty good, but the damage wasn't there. It's honestly, at the end of the day, if you make one mistake, and trust me, I made many, like, it's very hard not to let that Heroic Strike go off. It's not worth it. Like, if you miss one, and all of a sudden that 6 seconds between your Bloodthirsts isn't getting casted, like if now your Bloodthirst is 7 seconds because you heroic striked, you rage starved yourself or whatever the case, and you missed, you're not gonna have the damage. So it's so much better just to play normally, and just let those heroic strikes go through. So what I did was I made this weak aura that you saw pop up, which are the three icons, the Bloodthirst, the Whirlwind, and the Heroic Strike. And the way that I have those set up are, so whenever I have 30 rage, instantly my Bloodthirst will glow, and then I can cast it. And I run this macro. So this is a cast sequence macro. So it's Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, Bloodthirst. And then it just, if I don't press the button after 1 second, so the reset 1 just means it will reset itself. So I'll just show you quickly here. So if I go up to her, I Bloodthirst right now. You can see here my number 2, it'll automatically switch to a Whirlwind. So I can just press the same button. I can just press 2, press 2, press 2, and it'll go Bloodthirst, Whirlwind, Bloodthirst, if it's available. And so what I do is I'm kind of old school. Like, all of my stuff is like set up for PvP. So I've got a Razer Naga mouse. It's got the numpad on the side. It's got the 12 buttons. Those are all the buttons up top here. So this is num 1, num 2, num 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then down here is my, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I actually don't even use any of these keys, very rarely. All the buttons are on the top are utility keys for PvP. So I've got, I also have this charge macro that you'll see is my number 1. So it's a charge if I'm in stance 1, which is battle stance. It's an intercept if I'm in stance 3, which is berserker stance. And then if I'm too close to the target to charge, I'll cast hamstring. Now I do kind of get in trouble with it sometimes, because if I'm PvPing, so I can use it to charge. Now, you can't see it says hamstring, but if I press it again, she gets hamstrung. I have had instances where I'm trying to kite people like this in PvP, and I'm clicking my hamstring button, and I just get just a little too far to range, and then I intercept back, and I'm like, ah, well, that sucks, because I was trying to keep some distance and hamstring kite, but that's kind of a PvP issue. That's a skill issue. Other than that, Battle Shout, my disarm macro, again, like, I don't even use it really in PvE, and I very rarely use it in PvP, but it is there. So all this is a cast disarm, cast defensive stance. So no matter what, if I'm in battle stance or if I'm in berserker stance, if I walk up and I have rage and I click disarm, it swaps me to I don't know. Oh, she doesn't know she doesn't have weapons, so I can't disarm her. It doesn't matter. It'll just disarm her and swap me to battle stance. I use shift 1, 2, and 3 to get me to shift num 1, num 2, num 3 to go to battle stance, defensive stance, with my weapons. So if I'm fury tanking or if I need to put a shield on, shift 3 will get me back to with a shield. I don't have this button hotkeyed because it's not as important, but that's just another, like, cast battle stance, equip Thunder Fury, equip Iblis, so it just puts my weapons back on. I can send you any of these macros that you're interested in. Some of them are alright, but then a lot of them too are literally just like just me fucking around, seeing if I could, here's one, seeing if I could put stop casting into a macro, so if I could get it to queue itself instead of me having to, like, press the button. Blizzard's pretty good though, they don't let you do that, so this is actually garbage. This is one of my flask macros. This one's actually super cool. So this one I use in against Saffron. So when you're in combat, what this will do, this will check to see if you have your flask. So click flask false, click character main hand slot, click flask true, and then second hand slot, and then what I've got is an add-on somewhere that will make sure that those are set to my Grand Marshal Warhammer. So if I'm in combat, I can click this macro, and it won't use my flask until I have these two in my hand, and it'll put them in my hand for me. So I do have to spam it. Like, I have to spam click the button, but what's great against Saffron is that when we have the time, and we're like, so let's say we're fighting Saffron, he flies up, we're spreading out, while that time is happening, I don't have to, like, open my bag and then, like, go like this, and because the problem with the Grand Marshal Warhammers, right, they'll just keep swapping themselves. You actually have to, like, click and drag, and in the middle of combat, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And then you click your flask, and then you switch, and then you put your weapons back on, and then for that minute you're getting healed. But just doing that, it's a lot, and you're like, oh god, and you're running around, and now all of a sudden you got to try to get behind an ice block, and it's too late, you're dead. And but that is one of the things against Saffron that has saved my ass so many times. It heals. Obviously, having these two maces is huge. They've got 134 healing each, plus the 55 healing, so they do 350 healing per second. With my frost resist of 100 and whatever, like, it really helps the healers against Saffron. So it's not something that I would I would very much recommend doing that. So the other macros that I have here, I can help you set that up too if you need. This is just use a Hellstone. Let's see, disarm. My execute is just start casting, or start attack, sorry, which I'm assuming you have all those. Cleave, start attack. And I'll see this one here. I was checking it with cleave too, so it actually works to queue it, but again, it's just not worth queuing. That's my combat log. This piercing howl. Revenge. What is this? Cast revenge. Oh, this is when I'm tanking. So it. Oh, look at this. So it cancels my greater blessing of salvation and cancels blessing of salvation, so I don't have salve. And then if I'm in defensive stance, it will use revenge, bloodthirst, and heroic strike, depending on what's on cooldown. So I don't know. That one's just kind of. So the way that I play. Oh, this pummel one's really good. You should have this pummel. This pummel, if you're in berserker stance, will pummel. If you're in defensive stance, so / cast stance 2, it'll shield bash. You do need to have a shield on, so I should put in here something like. See, and I think, you know what, I might have had issues with this in the past where I've tried to do like a / if in stance 2 put on a shield, but I should have one already if I'm in defensive stance. When you're Fury prot like this, it's obviously hard to kick, and you've probably realized that already. So unless you, like, if I'm in defensive stance, I can't kick unless I put on a shield and then kick, and that's 2 buttons. So there's got to be a better way to do it. I haven't figured it out. I just like it because you can see here it's 6 on my it's 6 on my numpad, so this one will actually switch to the shield bash icon, and then when I go to berserker stance, it switches back to pummel. So it's just nice that it's the same button, but you do have to have a shield on, so it's kind of annoying. Anyway, sorry, that was a lot of random stuff, but so to actually get to like the gameplay, so what I've done is when I move and I fight, like PvP, if I were like PvPing, I'm always like trying to stay behind the target. So I use my mouse a lot, and I don't actually I don't hardly ever stand still, and that's why I can't play slam spec like a droid. A droid, like, it's got a 1-second cast timer. A droid can, charge a target, sit here, and just not move. I can't do that. It drives me fucking crazy. So I like to, I'm either strafing back and forth, or if I'm in PvP, I'm always trying to be behind the target. And because of that, I'm using my mouse a lot. And the way that I'm using my movement keys to strafe, it prevents me from using, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my hotkeys very well. So that's why I use the cast sequence macros. So I'll show you. So these guys out here, I'm sure you already know this, but these are your, not these guys here, these servants of Alistar. These are the guys you want to do your play testing on, because they don't die unless you have to kill them and then click the thing. So they're also best for leveling up your weapon skill, but I'm sure you know that too. So I'll just show you quick here. So this is actually not my best setup. Best setup's going to be right now Castigator main hand, Thunder Fury offhand, but and I actually have to playtest Iblis main hand, Thunder Fury offhand, because it does sim better in the sims, but we haven't done like a patchwork, and I died on the last Raz, so I'm still working on stuff. But I'll just show you here, like, this is my normal play rotation. So once combat starts, these get loaded. So you'll see here, so I'll battle shout. So what I do, so once I have rage, I'm clicking, so for me it's number 2, so I'm going to bloodthirst, I'm going to press 2 again, it's going to whirlwind. Now, all I'm doing is just smashing my 2 key. So I'm just like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, like, I never not smash my 2 key until execute phase. And now, obviously, Takana's insane gear, right? So, like, these are 2 fast swords. I very rarely miss. I crit a lot, so I'm getting flurry procs like crazy. And then what I'm doing is I'm preventing myself. You just basically want to never rage cap. Whenever you rage cap, you're in trouble. So I have my execute is my 3, and then my heroic strike is my 4 key. So yes, I can execute these guys because they just technically have low health, but not for playtesting. You don't want to do that. You want to like test your rotation and see how that works. So I have this weak aura set up down here for my heroic strike to light up when I have more than 55 rage. So if this was like a real boss fight, I'm gonna come in, I'm going to Bloodthirst, Whirlwind. If as soon as I have 55 rage, I'm gonna queue a heroic strike, and then I'm gonna queue a second one if it's not lit up. Or sorry, if these two are on cooldown and I'm like 40 rage, because I just know I'm not gonna need the 60 rage to use these two at the same time, right? And like the more that I play it, the better I get used to when I can queue a heroic strike, and then I don't even cancel it anymore. I just let it go because I generate so much rage. Now, yes, this is not a level 63, so pretty much everything hits. He's, you know, I again have great gear, so it's crazy. I'll do the same playtest on Shaka with two hands, and then I'll see. You'll probably see that I'm a lot more rage starved. But for now, I can pretty much just almost cast heroic strike anytime I want, right? And then so what I do is I just pay attention. Like, don't cast heroic strike if you again have less than 50 rage and these are more than 2 seconds away from being on cooldown. If these are almost on cooldown, or if these have 4 or 5 or 6 seconds on their cooldown, go ahead and queue up a heroic strike. Like, it's just gonna. So if I heroic strike now, I know it's fine because I'll have that 60 rage back by the time these come off cooldown. So I hope that makes sense to you, because it makes sense to me. And then yeah, once you're in execute phase, you can just literally just execute. And so that's all I'm doing now. I don't even care. Bloodthirst, you can weave it in if you're above. They say 2,000 attack power. Like, I don't know, dude. I would say 2,500 attack power, which is outrageous, like full world buffs. Like, you're just not gonna. I don't know. Execute's just so good. Anyways, this is a lot. Let me know if you have questions or if there's anything else I can help with, or if any of that even made sense. It might not have. I hope it did.